Today about adrenal function. Your adrenals are two small little glands on top of your kidneys, and we often don't even consider or think about them as being anything that's of importance, but they really are designed to be our emergency backup system in our body. Unfortunately, what happens in our overtaxed, overwhelmed environment that we live in and work in, where we have demands from our family and work and stress, horrible commutes and everything else that we deal with in Northern Virginia, these can impact these glands that are really utilized to be designed as emergency backup systems in our body, and they can become overtaxed and overtired. Often what I will see is complaints of fatigue, sleep disturbances, people that are wired and tired, as I call it. They're tired throughout the day, and after 6 o'clock at night, they get a second burst of energy. They have trouble falling asleep. Some people are waking up between 1 and 3 a.m., and that can oftentimes be an indication that their adrenal glands are not functioning properly. They can have odd food cravings, craving sugar like it's their job, craving salty foods in an effort to oftentimes bring up their blood pressure. They can have issues with low libido, which sometimes can be the issue that brings patients or clients in to see me. They can also have issues with digestion. They're all mitigated by the adrenal glands. And the interesting thing is that adrenal gland function and blood sugar regulation are very closely tied in. The adrenal glands, the liver, and the pancreas are all very closely tied into one another. So it's not at all uncommon to have adrenal fatigue and then also concomitant blood sugar dysregulation, or as I like to refer to it, blood sugar issues where you have waxing and waning levels. So it's definitely something worth examining. And again, it's a disease that I think of as, or a disorder really, that is mitigated by the environment that we all live in, where everyone's not sleeping enough, they're not eating the right foods, and they're under tremendous stress. And it can often be one issue in your life: the sickness of a loved one, the death of a loved one, divorce, moves, all kinds of things like that can tip off that otherwise very sensitive adrenal gland functioning. We can test adrenal functioning very easily, very inexpensively, and non-invasively, which is often a huge concern. You can do this with salivary cortisol, which is just with saliva. And you take, there's a kit that you receive at home, and it's just saliva samples several times over the course of a day that just get shipped off. And it's a quick and easy way to determine how well the pattern of your circadian rhythm, which is the rhythm with which cortisol flows in the body, it will tell us whether or not that's off. Additionally, we also do food sensitivity testing, and that's blood testing. And that can look at what foods your body is reacting most strongly to. And then also there is the stool testing that we are doing. And I had mentioned that earlier, but that ties in that all three of these tests really work concurrently and together. Really depends on what symptoms are bringing you in as to which ones we would decide to order, but all can be very helpful in looking at the root cause of some of the symptoms you're experiencing. So if we do determine that you have adrenal fatigue or adrenal gland problems, one of the first things that we will do is work on very targeted lifestyle changes, including things like making sure you're in bed before 10 a.m., making sure you're properly rested, making sure you're not doing extreme amounts of exercise, that you reduce stress in your personal life, and that can be engaging in yoga or Tai Chi or massage on a weekly basis or other modalities. It can involve supplements, and that's something that I've gotten very savvy with in terms of, which supplements will work with other medications they may already be taking. And then also, the other piece is retesting, seeing if the supplements and lifestyle changes that we have made have been effective at improving the symptoms that you're experiencing.